you have come to the place where you can learn to harness the power of intention, to create subconscious beliefs that serve you, and to gain insights that allow you to create a life, personally and professionally, that you desire. This is the place where you leverage your subconscious mind and design your destiny. Join me now, your host, Penny Chason. Hey, Penny Chason here. How are you doing today? I'm excited that you are listening. I wanted to talk to you today about how I go inside. How I go inside and connect with my intuition, get insights, guidance, really kind of how I renew myself. One of the most powerful things that you can do is turn off the noise of the outside world. Now, I can hear what you're saying. The election's in a few weeks. Are you kidding me? We have to stay on top of what's going on. Horse phooey. No, we don't. You probably, if you're in the U.S., you probably already know who you're voting for. So, cut the crap. Shut it off. Get it out of your life, because when you're listening to those things on the news, and I've mentioned before here how news, social media, how those things are, one, manipulated, and two, they take advantage of certain principles of the mind to more heavily influence you. And they do it in a very damaging way, because they use fear, anger, and outrage. And they're actually harming the public. It doesn't matter which side you believe. Fear, anger, and outrage trigger our stress response. And they create uncertainty. And that uncertainty simmers beneath the surface. And it affects what we're doing. And if you're trying to build a business, it can make a huge, huge difference in the way that you feel. Over the summer, I have paid a little bit more attention to what is going on because my 3 children are scattered around the world for their occupations. 2 are in the U.S. and 1 has been on a tuna boat in the Pacific for over 18 months now. But he's not had his feet on dry land since February because of COVID. The islands where the ship can make port refuse to allow the ship to make port. He's a helicopter pilot, and he has this really cool job. He gets to fly the spotter for the fishmaster on the boat so that people who love tuna can eat tuna. If you're vegan, I'm sorry, I apologize. But this was his dream job. Like, he manifested this job. He has 0 expenses in his life. He's 100% debt-free, and he has piles of cash in his bank account. But he's getting a little frustrated. He's ready to come home, and I don't blame him. But until some things change with borders and port security and letting people in, he's pretty much stuck where he is. So I noticed as I began to watch the news to follow what's happening, the way I felt in business took a hit. So you know what I did? Shut that crap off. Shut it off. Can't listen. If there's something I'm looking for, I will go look for written media. And if I am tired, hungry, frustrated, or emotionally not in a place where I can be completely objective when I read it, I don't even read it. If there's anything that I really need to know about, my husband will let me know. So we all have people in our lives who can't turn that stuff off. They will let us know if there's something we need to know. So I'm encouraging you, 1, to eliminate the noise of the outside world. Now, here's what I do to go a step further than just eliminating that noise. 1, I practice self-hypnosis every day. And I practice my self-hypnosis in the evening, because it is a very intentional practice. It's not a visualization, and it is about a connection with what I consider my creator. And I'm wording it that way because I'm not in the business of imposing my beliefs on anyone. So it's a very spiritual practice for me, this self-hypnosis. So I spend time in the evening before I go to sleep doing that. And it allows me to focus my mind, to clear my mind, and to come back to center, depending on how my day and my evening may have been. If you're like most people that I have worked with, either in group or one-to-one, then most likely you are someone that seeks out journaling opportunities, yoga, meditation, to create a sense of calm and peace in your life. What if I told you that there is a practice that not only allows you to introduce peace and the sense of calm in your life, but it does so by releasing negative beliefs, recognizing the truths about you, that you are lovable, that there's never been anything wrong with you, all while allowing you to create a deeper connection spiritually, then I'm sure you're going to want to get in on this. So I want you to head over to the website, pennychason.com/release, and get on the wait list now, because the doors are opening soon on Release, Renew, Realign. The other thing that I do to connect is I love Solfeggio frequencies. And Solfeggio frequencies, you can get them in different hertz, 528 hertz or 174 hertz, or I think it's like 936. 936 is one of my favorite ones, but you can also get those that have beta tones. So if you're looking for intuition, if you're wanting the creative part of your mind to be stimulated, those beta tones will do that for you. You can get on YouTube and you can look up Solfeggio, Solfeggio frequencies, and you can find entire channels. And you can just pick and choose what feels good. I put that on in my car for my 1 hour drive to my office and my 1 hour drive home. I find that if I listen to other things, I can find myself getting sucked into thinking and getting sucked into emotional stuff. So that's what I listen to, and I now get some of my best ideas when I'm in the car, driving to the office from home in the morning. So Solfeggio frequencies. A practice that was introduced to me a couple of years ago is silence. This one is a doozy for a lot of people, and I believe I may have mentioned it on an earlier episode. If you ever really want to know what's going on inside of your mind and how your subconscious is that iceberg dead ahead, then you need to practice silence. You should give it a shot just once. Set aside 4 hours. I think before I talked about like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but if you really want to see what's going on, set aside 4 hours. Find yourself a place to sit down. No phone, no radio, no pen, no paper, no deck of cards for solitaire, no TV, no one coming to talk to you. You sit there, nobody but you and the little monkey in your mind, if you have one. Some people are lucky enough, I think they have it locked down and under control. But see where your thoughts go. And when you learn to use that silence to quieten your mind, you can even take short blocks, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, where you sit and you train yourself to go into silence. And you train your mind to go into that place. You learn to stop that chatter. And it helps you to stay in that place of well-being so that all of the fears, the doubts, the judgments, all of those things, you begin to clear that slate so that you can be open to things coming to you. If you're saying, I don't have time to do 4 hours, if you're important to yourself, you'll find a way to create the time. Find a babysitter, whatever the case may be. I remember the first time I did it, I was 1 hour short of the 4 hours, and I was starting to feel drowsy, and it was in the late evening, and I remembered that the workshop was wide open, and I didn't want to accidentally fall asleep and not close the workshop because anyone could come by and help themselves to some of my husband's workshop tools and toys, and I would have been in the doghouse because I chose a night when he was working to do it. So it took me a couple of tries before I ever got through the full 4 hours. But it was a very eye-opening and enlightening experience. Now, on a monthly basis, I probably practice this silence 3 or 4 times a month, and I no longer set aside time for it. And the reason why I don't set aside the time for it is because I have at least 3 or 4 nights every month where I have 4 or 5 hours in the middle of the night where I don't sleep. So instead of laying there worrying about not sleeping, getting frustrated over that, I just choose to use it as my opportunity to observe my thoughts. And sometimes I find that my mind is going through 1,000,000 things that, quote unquote, my mind thinks I need to be doing, when basically what my mind is doing is trying to create busy work. They aren't things that actually need to be done at all. And sometimes I'll notice emotions. Back in July, I was noticing this very unsettled feeling, and I couldn't put my finger on where it was coming from, what was causing it. And in that 4 hours of silence, rather than taking myself through a process of attempting to reveal the cause, I was just observing it to see what would come. And I connected with a friend who is an amazing person. She's First Nation. She's an energy healer. She has amazing gifts. I connected with her and scheduled some time with her, and we talked about it. And what came out of that was that this feeling was not connected to any belief or thought that I had. It had to do with others' expectations and what others may think. And you've heard me talk about that before. So we went through a process where when I feel that, I just say a simple phrase and let it go. And you know what? It's been a few weeks now, and it's amazing. It's gone. Absolutely gone. The other thing that I like to do is to soul journal and gratitude journal. And what the soul journaling does is I just get quiet. I learned this from Patty Dominguez. I got to give her a shout out here because this is one of those things that when she dropped this little bombshell, I was like, oh. And yeah, I really like it. So you set aside 7 or 8 minutes and you get silent and you get quiet and you just ask you could say your higher conscious or just your mind or however you choose to phrase it, because the mind is not the brain. What would you have me know today? What would you have me know today? And whatever begins to come to your mind, you just start writing. And you write for 7 or 8 minutes. And you will be amazed at what comes through sometimes. Because your true self can come through in that process. And it's a really, really good feeling. So those are some of the things that I do to tap into that intuition, gain insight, to go inside. My spiritual self-hypnosis, the silence, the solfeggio, and the soul journaling. Isn't that amazing? They all start with the letter S. And so does spirit. Next time. Thanks for tuning in today. I would love it if you would head over to iTunes and leave a positive review about how this episode has helped you to improve your life. When you leave a positive review, it helps us to reach even more people, helping them to change their lives, and that positive energy and vibration of sharing comes back to you as we spread the message of how you can use the power of intention, creating stronger subconscious beliefs and raising our vibration to create the life that we desire, the one that we're here to truly live so that we can fulfill our purpose in life. Once again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.